The Lakers' next move has been revealed as a bunch of new reports and rumors are starting to escalate surrounding one particular center. We're going to break down exactly who that is and discuss what this means going forward as Rob Pelinka is preparing for a huge offseason. We're going to break down exactly what that means and discuss also what it means going forward. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. Before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support, it's been unbelievable. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. If you want to help us towards that goal, you guys have been beasts. Make sure to do that, and it would mean the world to myself. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Pelinka. It's no secret, other teams around the NBA who are still in the playoffs. It sucks that the Lakers are on the outside looking in, but they have a ton of work to do. The Lakers are in a very interesting spot. This might be, one of the last years this upcoming year, and one of the last off seasons where you're building around LeBron and Luka. And of course, with Luka's pending extension, there's a ton of conversations about getting Luka Doncic a center with his pending extension. And some reports and rumors have started to drop, revealing how they're going to do just that. I want to start with this here, and we're also going to dive into some reports, some rumors, all these different things. Trevor Lane, Lakers offseason center trade proposal. So this one is very interesting. I want to start with this, and I want to dive into a different one. But the main framework here is Kleber, Dalton, Knecht, a first-round pick. They're also giving up Gabe Vincent. And the Lakers get Daniel Gafford and Max Christie back. Now, I want to be the first to say, I think that a trade package like this, and the rumors that have been circulating, I don't think that the Lakers are going to get Max Christie back. But I think Daniel Gafford is the number one target here for the Lakers. And there's been a ton of rumors about him back, not necessarily, last year's trade deadline, but years in the past, free agency, all these different things. He's always been on the radar of a bunch of different teams, including the Lakers, because he is a fantastic role player who plays his role perfectly. And he's played with Luka Doncic in the past. And I want you guys to let me know down below, would you do this deal? And it doesn't have to be a Max Christie deal, but a deal centering Dalton, Knecht, and a first for Daniel Gafford. And we think back to the trade deadline, they were willing to go for, Dalton, Knecht, and a first, that 2031 first for Mark Williams. But then, of course, a trade got rescinded. And I think, there's something to be said there. Now, obviously, some people are going to say, hey, Mark Williams is younger. He is a better player than Daniel Gafford. Others will say, Gafford's actually fits this Lakers team better. He's played with Luka in the past, so I'd go ahead and do that deal. I'm very curious to see what your guys' thoughts are about it. I'm more so on the side of, getting Daniel Gafford, maybe not going that extra mile for Max Christie, mainly because, and I think this would solve two birds with one stone. You get your center, you get your 3-and-D wing. I just don't think the Mavericks are going to trade back Max Christie to the Lakers. I think there is a chance they trade Daniel Gafford, a very high chance, but not necessarily Max Christie. And I want to dive into, another rumor that has dropped in a report here. Lakers might cut ties with sharpshooter and surprising deal with Mavericks and Magic. Now, bear with this one. So this has two different trades going down. It has the Magic receiving Daniel Gafford initially for Cole Anthony and a first-round pick, which is a bit of an overpay, I think, for the Magic. But then it has the Magic flipping Daniel Gafford to the Lakers for Dalton, Knecht, some picks, right? So this one is very interesting to me. And essentially the Magic are getting, Dalton, Knecht, and a first-round pick in exchange, for some, players going back for Cole Anthony, right? So it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, again, this is a hypothetical. Keep this, keep all that in mind. But I want to focus on Daniel Gafford. Now, Daniel Gafford is a phenomenal player. And you can see this here. Firstly, the Lakers need a big. As stated earlier, they already showed before this year's deadline that they're willing to trade Dalton, Knecht, like I mentioned. He averaged 12 points, 7 rebounds, and assists, and almost 2 blocks a game for the Mavericks last year. And let's not forget, he played with Luka Doncic in the past, and they've won some playoff games. He'd be a solid acquisition for the Lakers and a notable upgrade over Jackson Hayes. And he also played alongside Luka. And of course, we know Luka got the best out of him. And of course, on the Magic side, they get some of their things there. I'm not focused on the Magic part. Let's look at Daniel Gafford's stats. And let's not forget, he played prior to getting traded from the Wizards, in last year, not this past year, but the year before, when Luka made the NBA Finals in 2023-2024, he started 21 games for the Magic and put up 11 points and 2 blocks a game. And he was a part of that team and that run where Luka Doncic made it to the NBA Finals before, of course, Luka got traded. And this year for the Mavericks, he was fantastic, right? Like 12 points, 2 blocks a game. He's a great rim protector. He can't shoot the ball, but he is extremely efficient, shooting 70%, 78% last year from the field when his time with the Mavericks. He is a dog. Now, rebounding-wise, he's a capable rebounder. Is he going to be the one that is going to be the glass cleaner? Not really. But boy, oh boy, would he be an absolutely perfect fit with this team. And it's why it makes so much sense. And obviously, there's some things in the way of that, meaning, the Mavericks trading again with the Lakers. I don't think the Mavericks would be afraid to do that. And they already were, high on Max Christie. They got Max Christie. You have, Anthony Davis. If they want to, maybe get a guy like Dalton Knecht who can really stretch the floor and potentially, be a young asset for them, it makes some sense. And from the Lakers' point of view, if you wanted, would you do this one, first of all? But also, if you want to go out and get a big man, there's not many better names out there than Daniel Gafford. And with all the rumors that have been circulating, all these different things, it makes a ton of sense. And maybe it is in the form of a deal like this, where it's Kleber, Knecht, and some swaps for Gafford and Christie. You're giving up your asset, you're getting two back. I think there's a higher chance that they go for, Daniel Gafford on his own and then make some other moves after that to go for a type of player like, Max Christie or a 3-and-D wing. We've been hearing Nickeil Alexander-Walker. There's a lot of different guys like that. And they have a lot of work to do, right? Like Rob Pelinka, his job won't be done once he gets a starting center. And we've been hearing rumblings about Steven Adams, Bam Adebayo, obviously Nick Claxton, all these different guys. And of course, now Daniel Gafford. I think Daniel Gafford, aside from the team on his jersey, makes the most sense as it pertains to a trade. Though, again, the optics of him trading back Nico Harrison might be a little bit, more confusing. But we know their next move is going to be something surrounding, the Mavericks. We've had a bunch of different rumors drop about it just because of the sense that it makes with, both sides especially. But we think back to what Rui Hachimura said at his end-of-season press conference and the post-game press conference, and they got eliminated in Game 5 versus the Timberwolves. He says they need to add size and rebounding this offseason. And obviously, Daniel Gafford does that. He provides some rim protecting. And you could just have Jackson Hayes. He's still probably going to be on the team, depending on if they, keep him. If they re-sign him, you can have him as just like a rebounder. And that's kind of what he's going to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, Jackson Hayes is a fine backup center. He is not a fine starting center, especially on a championship caliber team, especially when your defenders are already pretty weak. Now, if you have Daniel Gafford who can man the paint, he's not a huge guy, but he is absolutely one of the more skilled, he's not one of the more skilled big men in the league, but he knows his role as good as almost anyone, and it makes things very interesting. See this year, I love Rui, but Gafford is a difference maker. See, a lot of Lakers fans enamored with Gafford. He's way better than Jackson Hayes, but best as a backup big, dominating backups. Great finisher, athletic, good off the glass, but not a great decision maker on D, and one of the worst defensive rebounding bigs. Struggles versus physical centers. Now, I wanted to include this because it's not all, sunshine here and rainbows. He is better off of the bench. We've seen that throughout his career. At the same time, I think with Luka Doncic, Luka can elevate Daniel Gafford to the point where he can be a starting center, and especially coming off of what the Lakers want. Now, if you're giving up Knecht in a first, you might be better off keeping those assets. But if you can get him for Dalton, Knecht, and some swaps, and then use that other first-round pick in 2031 to make a move for either another center or a stopper, it could make some sense because, you're going to have Maxi Kleber, who's probably going to be using some trade packages. You have a bunch of different things you can do there. But at the end of the day, the Lakers need to make moves. They need to make some sort of changes happen here. And I think Daniel Gafford is a very, very good fit who is going to be served best as a backup. But at the same time, I could see him starting with his team, especially because Luka helped take him to the finals the year before he was traded, which is a little bit ridiculous. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. We know their next move is going to be a player similar to this, and there's a good chance that it is Daniel Gafford or someone like that. Obviously, the Nico Harrison relationship there makes things a little bit interesting, but let me know down below what your thoughts are. Things are picking up. Things are escalating. We'll keep you up to date with all the Lakers news, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.